StreamYard, what are you doing? Hey there, everybody. I said StreamYard. We were having StreamYard issues over on the Groggen on Dogs YouTube channel, but not here. Now I use Restream over here. It's like, you remember that one episode of The Simpsons where Marge just instinctively says, Bart, no! But it was Lisa, yelling at StreamYard, even though it's Restream causing the issues. But hey there, everybody. Welcome on into Zero Hour, where I, your host, Extra Zero, try to bring you all of the Transformers news I find interesting, as well as some discussions around what's going on in the world of Transformers in about 60 minutes or so, hence the name. We got quite a bit of stuff to talk about, including some breaking news, some stuff I just saw as I was, every week before I start, I always just kind of do a cursory glance, the groups I'm in, and the news sites that I go to, and saw some stuff popping off. This is with exclusives. This is really, really interesting stuff. So before we get into it, before we get into all the fun stuff, if you're watching me here live on YouTube, one, thank you very much. I wouldn't be able to do the show without the awesome and amazing people who tune in each and every week. So thank you for the support, for just watching. I really appreciate it. I'd love to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year and become a YouTube partner. That would be absolutely amazing. And while you're here, if you don't mind, if you like what I'm doing here, make sure you smash that like button because it helps me out in the algorithm. And if you're not already subscribed, hopefully today is the day I earn your subscription. And if you do subscribe, make sure you ring that notification bell. I had to postpone it. We had a lot of stuff going on this past weekend, but this Saturday I will finally be doing the repaint discussion with Lance at about 10 Eastern. And I'm glad that we delayed it because, well, we've got more stuff to talk about now, which is, kind of a happy accident. We got a pretty cool reveal on Thursday. So in addition to that, ring that notification bell. Well, I think I said that, ring that notification bell so you stay in the loop. Working on, we have a graduation party this weekend. We're loaning our house out, so I'm trying to get things cleaned up because they're going to be using the pool. So I'll be pretty close to just doing a 2025 collection tour. I want to just get a couple things, resorted before we do that. But I will definitely have a new collection tour in the coming weeks. So looking forward to everybody seeing how my basement's set up and everything I've got on display. It's always fun getting to show that off. And also, too, I kind of like documenting it just to see how my collection's evolved over the years. Sometimes when I'm feeling, when I want to see my old house, it's always cool to have those old videos on T-Man's site. I have one on TM Reviews, or not T-Man's site, T-Man's YouTube channel. And it's also cool to see the one on TM Reviews when he was here last year. He did a video of that. So yeah, cool stuff. And also, if you're into gaming content, I was on the RNG gaming podcast last night with my buddy, the Cream NATO, and Carl from the RNG podcast was the host. And, I know not everybody comes in for the gaming content, but, we had a really cool debate. I'm going to be on there relatively soon. We're going to be talking the Nintendo Switch and everything going on with Nintendo. Nintendo is something I'm passionate about, but Carl had me on to do kind of this mock trial of Phil Spencer and just how we feel he's been doing with Xbox. But I got some content up on the Gronking channel, so let me go ahead and share out real quick so you can see. In my link tree, you'll get the link for Gronking on Dogs. If you go over to my community tab, you'll get to see the link to the RNG episode I was on last night. Good discussion. We were over there for a few hours, and I was this close to winning. I did lose the debate. But over on the Gronking channel, I've got some videos. I've got my Switch 2 unboxing, as well as a unboxing of a game, showing how the backwards compatibility works, case unboxing, And also, I did this parody spoof on Alex Jones where I turned my pal Mazza from the Gronky on Dogs podcast into, I put him in the InfoWars background. So we do some fun stuff over there, some silly stuff, but it's really lighthearted and informative gaming content. We are not about the e-drama or, any of the politics in gaming. We're just there to talk gaming news and have fun while we're doing it. If something sucks, we're going to call it out over there. If it's awesome, we're also going to call it out. And we're also going to put games on your radar that you probably didn't even know were coming out. So check out the Gronky on Dogs podcast if you're looking for a refreshing take on gaming news. It's a little edgy over there. The Australians do not hold back, but everybody that watches it seems to have a really good time. Before we say hi to chat, we're going to knock out one of my favorite weekly segments, and that being this. Oh, wait, before I get into it, we're a couple weeks away. If you are in the DMV area, so Maryland, DC, Virginia, or even Pennsylvania, I am hosting a meetup in White Marsh at the Avenue at White Marsh, and it's going to be at noon on Saturday the 28th. So if you're in the area, come on down. We're going to be at Bar Louie. We're going to be hanging out. We're just going to get a whole bunch of people together, get a whole bunch of tables. We're going to have a whole bunch of toys out there, just hanging out, having food, having drinks, having a good time, getting to know your fellow collectors. I'm going to make some posts in the coming week, not only on the community tab, but in Facebook groups. The posts are already up on TFW 2005. So if you are in the area, you are very welcome to come. I want to see a bunch of people there. I want to see a bunch of figures. I want to see people having a good time. If you're looking to sell figures, if you're just looking to show off figures or trade, bring whatever. If you don't have anything to bring, don't bring anything. There's no obligations. It's just an opportunity to get to meet and interact with your fellow collectors and have a great time. Probably be between myself and T-Man, we'll probably be videotaping it. So if you don't want to be taped, just let us know. But it's always a good time. I'm looking forward to getting these back out there and getting people together because I just really miss it. It's almost like a little miniature convention. So now that we've got all the preamble and rambling out of the way, it's time for this week's Figure of the Week. And this week's Figure of the Week is a relatively new figure. This is the Age of the Primes Voyager. Good Lord. Why am I blanking? Why am I blanking on his name? You ever have that happen where you're just like, it's Heatwave. It's the Voyager Heatwave. So Heatwave was originally a Rescue Bots figure. Well, not just figure. He was a character on the Rescue Bots show. And I like what they're doing where they're taking these Rescue Bots characters and they are giving them new life in the main lines. Heatwave was kind of a controversial figure. I think people were excited about him and early reviews were mostly negative. I've already got Chase and Medics. So I was like, okay, I want Heatwave because he's different. He's a character I don't have. He's a heavy retool of the Prime, or rather the Legacy Prime bulkhead mold. It has some of the same issues that figure had, but also I think it works exceptionally well for the character. One of the biggest complaints about this guy was his alt mode, but in hand, the alt mode really isn't that bad. You do have to do a little parts forming to get it right. I will say this guy, you probably can't see it too well on my camera because one, my camera won't focus, and two, it's front lit. This has some of the best light piping in any mainline figure I've ever seen. He actually has two eyes in there, and so you get this interesting effect where the outer part of the eyes, illuminate a little bit, and like what would be his actual eyes do all the glowing. And I think the paint and the detailing on him is really good. I mean, he's got all the same posability as Bulkhead. The transformation's relatively the same, save for the fact that he, doesn't have that tarp shield piece. He gets the ladder, and he gets different accessories. I actually think that the clear blue they use for this little miniature axe and the water blaster is nice. It's in keeping with the character. And again, the transformations one we've gotten before with Bulkhead, with Breakdown. The Prime Breakdown. I didn't really think that this mold worked great for Breakdown, but I think it works really well for Heatwave. And I've been messing with this guy all week. I'm still waiting to get. I'm most hyped for Cybershark, but I'm glad I got Heatwave first because, it's funny. Cybershark's getting, or not Cybershark, but rather Skybite is getting all of the hype, and I'm looking forward to putting Skybite in with my Omega Prime, and I'm still waiting on my replacement from Hasbro for the Omega Prime, but I very excited to get Skybite there while I've got the Omega Prime on display. In fact, I put up Toe Line and Sideburn and Scourge with him, and I'm fumbling. I don't always like to transform these on camera because I don't like to waste a lot of time, but I do want to give this guy his due because, again, a lot of reviewers were saying that he just didn't deliver in hand. And I kind of take issue with that. I was expecting to be disappointed. And I think sometimes that's like one of the best things, right? When you get a figure, you hear about a figure, and you're like, I still want it because I don't have any representation for that character. And then you get it, and it actually is a pleasant surprise. And, I feel that was Heatwave for me. There we go. And I heard a lot of reviewers, like I think it was Carnage Creation, said that the plastic on him didn't feel good. And they do have the same flexible plastic on his shoulders that Bulkhead and Breakdown had. But it really isn't that bad. It's not. I was expecting it to be like that red plastic that just kind of mars immediately. And it just hasn't been the case. There's a little bit of a flex to it, but nothing feels really bad. Could it feel better? Yeah, but it doesn't feel bad. So what I was talking about is when you get him into this part of the transformation, a lot of people are just putting the ladder on right here with this post. So he's this post on the back. You can use it as a shield. You can keep it on his back. And when you do this looks awful. But what they did was here, they engineered a couple of tabs into the back of the thighs. And you'll see on the ladder, there's a couple of channels. Well, what I found is if you put the ladder in those channels, it holds everything together securely. And there's two tabs on the back of the ladder that actually go into little parts of the feet. And the feet actually tab in really well. And then when you get it here, you don't have too bad looking of like a cartoony fire truck. And then you can actually take the water cannon and you can slot it into the bed of the fire truck. Same with the axe. And I'm not going to act like this is the greatest looking alt mode of all time. But when you get it together like this, I certainly think this is actually better than the alt mode you get for the Voyager animated Optimus. And I really like this clear blue that they used on him, like the red, the silver, the white, the yellow. I just think this color scheme is really well done. So again, I wasn't expecting to like this guy much, and I've been messing with him all week. So yeah, that's my figure of the week, the Age of the Primes Voyager Heatwave. So I think this guy probably will go on sale. I think he's worth it. I don't know if he will. Again, it's always the gamble because like I was excited about Animated Motor Master, and then he went on deep discount. So, again, up to your discretion whether you want to wait and see or get him. I think he's worth it. I think Cybershark. I keep saying Cybershark. Keep saying Cybershark because I'm waiting for them to do that repaint. They're going to do a Transmetal 2 Cybershark, but Skybite. I think Skybite's going to be the one that everybody's like going after, but don't sleep on Heatwave. Even though he's a repaint, I think he's a very well done repaint. It comes together nice, and that's why he is my figure of the week. All right, let's catch up with chat, and then we're going to get into convention stuff. And we got some breaking news to go along with the convention stuff. I'm really excited to get into that. So first and foremost, we got my boy Princeton Phalanx coming in saying hello. Princeton, always good to see you. Hope you're having a good evening, my man. We got my buddy Angry Canadian in here saying what's up. Good to see you, AC. And I'll be talking to Angry Canadian on the RNG podcast when we do the Switch discussion. It's probably not going to be until July that we're working on hammering that date out, but I'm really excited. I'm enjoying my Switch 2. And maybe I'll do a video talking about Switch 2 here. I normally do it on Gronking, but maybe it would be a fun one. I don't know. Let me know. Is that something you guys would be interested in? Because it's been a controversial system, and I've had a really positive experience with it. So if that's something you guys are interested, let me know. I might just do kind of a, an off the cuff kind of discussion video about it. We got Mega T-Rex for all saying the hour is 0. Good to see you, Mega T-Rex. Hope you're having a good evening. We got Aquateki coming in saying greetings all. Good to see you, my dude. Winston Leggett coming in saying what's up, Zero and everyone. Good to see you, Winston. Hope to see you at that meetup. Hope you come on by and hang out. It's been too long. We got my dude Sandra Franca saying bad player, never go against Uncle Phil. Yeah, well, I wasn't. I was on. I wasn't in on my home turf doing it, but no, I had a good discussion. And then Princeton got me with Heatwave. Yes, we got Mario Roca coming in saying hi. Actually, hi Mario. Hope you're having a good night. And he comes back to say, I just want to know what figure for Age of the Primes reveal for Wave 3 am I most anticipating? That is a good question, and I think it's Micronus. I really think it's Micronus. We'll go over all of those reveals, but first we got to talk. I was planning on opening up with the updates on what's going on with the conventions. We've got TFCon Toronto coming up in July, so that is July 11th through the 13th, and we've actually got a new guest announced. It's Christopher Lee Zammit. He was one of the visual effects artists on the Transformers live action movie. So, normally you don't see too many people associated with the live action movies outside of voice actors going to these conventions. And Toronto, again, is a small and intimate convention. It's much smaller than the Midwest, West Coast, and East Coast shows. So this will be a good opportunity. There's going to be a panel, and it's going to be about the making of the Transformers films. And I think that'd be a cool one to have. He's also going to be at a booth, so he'll be doing meet and greets, making art. I guess he'll be doing commissions there and probably be able to get photos with him. So really cool guest announcement. And then we've got, this one's a really cool one. TFW 2005 is having a 25th anniversary party on October 25th at TFCon Chicago. So they're sending out a save the date. And they're just going to be celebrating the 25th anniversary of TFW 2005, which has been a staple of the Transformers community. They're going to be having a dedicated room with a bar, food. There's going to be a goodie bag, door prizes, music, photo ops, guests, and more. So it says they're going to have a DJ playing music with Transformers themed tracks. Looks like they're probably just going to be utilizing the hotel bar. And all attendees are going to get a goodie bag. I don't know if there's an entry cost no, there is an entry cost because it's a ticketed event. It looks like they are just looking to recoup costs in it. But I guess more details will follow. It's a really cool thing to have because I know Chicago's a little bit more of a controversial convention, considering where it's at and how disconnected it is from things to do. So it's a pretty big incentive. I believe Deluxe is going. I believe Patriot Prime's going. So I'm sure they'll be at this. And I'm a little bit jealous. I won't get to attend for that, but a cool thing to happen there. Then we go over to Botcon. Botcon's got a couple cool things that they announced. First and foremost, they're going to be doing a Bloki's speed build competition. And this is going to be judged by Sam's Formers and TM Reviews. And there's going to be a commentator. It's going to be John Bailey. So, that's a cool thing to have. There's going to be a grand prize. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but probably Bloki's related. Then for Botcon, YOLO Park is doing an exclusive. So it looks like you could get an AMK Pro toy version of Cliff Jumper. And so this is the kit. And, again, you're getting a redeco of Bumblebee with a, toy version of the head. Actually comes with custom packaging saying Autobot Cliff Jumper and saying it's a Botcon 2025 event exclusive. Now, normally, when it came to event exclusives, it's this one's. This is where the breaking news comes in. MMC is doing exclusives for Botcon. That's right. It is not just X-Trans bots and 5.2 toys anymore. The next piece of the Ruination set, Astrolift, is going to be a Botcon exclusive. So this is actually huge. Absolutely huge. So, the last MMC, the last TFCon we had, we did not get, after Baltimore. What was the last one we had? What was the one that kicked off the year? The MMC didn't have anything of note. And here we go. We're getting the next piece of their Ruination, their Assaulta set. So this is pretty cool. It's going to be available at the ages 3 and up and Toy Dojo booths. And of course, if you missed out on the previous pieces, Roll Bar and Rotor, they are, Shift Lane and I think was it Fast Lane? They're also going to be available there. But this is huge. And not only that, but they're doing a version of Stripes. So for anybody collecting the cassettes, they're doing a redeco of their Jaguar or Ravage into Stripes. So I know everybody wants Ratbat, but this is still pretty big. And I know there are a lot of people that pick these up and, have been collecting all of them. So again, 2 new exclusives that are going to be available this coming weekend. If you're at Botcon, this is a very welcome surprise. And it's really cool to see MMC doing multiple conventions. Really, really cool. And it's a huge thing for Botcon. So congrats to Agabus, congrats to Hanny for putting on a good convention and growing it. And actually, as much as I love TFCon, it's also cool to see legitimate convention, legitimate competition with conventions. I don't know why that was so hard to say. So we're going to get into all the big official news. And so there was a Hasbro Pulse stream, and we got leaks leading up to it, but we got a lot of reveals, and a lot of things went up for pre-order. So let's get into it, because there's a lot of stuff to unpack here. So first up, we got Fireflight. We knew he was coming. Not a wholly original mold. It looks like these guys are just going to be repaints of the previous 2 with new heads. But I still think he looks fine. I mean, also too, they did do some good stuff with the chest here. Just wish he got his own plain mode, but it is what it is. I mean, he does look the part with the deco. So he'll be coming out this winter. And there he is in the packaging. We also got Skydive. Skydive also looking pretty cool. Again, also coming out this winter. They say November, but I'm sure we'll be getting these around September time. These were the ones that a lot of people were looking forward to. So we're getting a 2-pack for these guys. The G2 Universe Slug and Snarl, or Slag and Snarl. And I think these guys look fantastic. So it looks like we are getting the rest of the G2 Dinobots in all of their glory. And I really do like these decos. I like that kind of metallic forest green on Slag, and the metallic like red in addition to that like candy red for the chest on Snarl. Looks really good. I wish that they came with all of their weapons being G2. I wish they both got swords and blasters. I feel like they definitely could, considering that they're a 2-pack and an exclusive set. I really like the boxes that they're doing for these kind of generation selects. The one for Triptychon was really cool, but these look super premium. So there you go. And even if they're not window boxes, I do really like that for the exclusives. Then we get new looks at Onyx Prime. Went up for pre-order. And Onyx Prime, oddly, is coming in at $60 instead of $55. I'm not sure if that's an error, but it seems like all the retailers have raised the prices on leaders, which is unfortunate considering the fact that a lot of leaders really are more complex Voyagers these days. Now, he does look like he's going to be a big bot, but hopefully they do price adjust, because I don't know why there was a need to increase the price. But we finally get official photos of Onyx Prime, looking very good. And there he is in packaging. So he does fill up a lot of that box. And also looking forward to talking to Lance about what he could potentially be redecoed or retooled into. But there you go with Onyx Prime. Then we get Alpha Trion, and this was one that I was very surprised by. We get a much younger Alpha Trion. So this is pretty cool, considering they had that SDCC 2-pack with the very animation accurate Alpha Trion. We get a younger looking Alpha Trion with just a mustache, and I love how he has this transforming shield. I like this version of his vehicle mode. It's not a Scourge retool. This is a new, as far as I can tell, it's a new mold entirely. And I love the fact that his relic is this quill pen and book that kind of doubles as a dagger and a shield. It's pretty cool. Apparently, you can also take the Autobot symbol out of his chest, and he can hold that. So if you don't want him to have an insignia, you can have him without one. If you're just playing the 13, before factions existed, you can still do that. You can see that on the back of the box. So definitely cool stuff here, and I love the fact that they actually have some printing on the book. So definitely a cool take on Alpha Trion, and also cool to see him get his own mold rather than being a redeco or retool. Then this was the one that really took me by surprise, Micronus Prime. And I was not expecting this. So this is a deluxe, and just everything about this is cool. So you get, at his core, he's a minicon. And this motorcycle, this like one-wheeled motorcycle that he has, turns into a mech suit for him. And this is just such a cool concept. I was not expecting that. And you can see he turns into kind of like a minicon shield, kind of like what was shown in Transformers Armada, and also what was in the Prime series. Sorry, not the Prime series, but the Robots in the Sky series. So this is a really, really cool concept for a deluxe, and just a really neat set in general. So this is really shot up to being one of my most anticipated figures of the year, and probably one of the 13 that I just really wasn't expecting to really shoot up the list of anticipated figures. Then we get Venom, or as I guess they've had to rebrand him, Venom. I don't know why they couldn't have just called him Decepticon Venom. I don't know if the Marvel licensing is just too much of a conflict there. But yeah, this is really cool, and it looks like he is an entirely new mold. So the last of the deluxe Insecticons that we'd gotten had been, very heavy retools: Ransack, Chop Shop, and I forget the other one. This is completing our set of deluxe Insecticons, and yeah, we're getting a really cool looking bot in the process. And also, he's not locked behind a box set or being exclusive. So very, very, very cool stuff here. Then we get Flatline, who was a comic character who also was a character in the Bayverse as well. I know Treebot said, hey, that's a character that was a Bayverse figure. But yeah, this is a really cool reuse of the Red Alert mold, and new guns going up on the front of the vehicle. I think that's really, really cool. And definitely a something I wasn't expecting to see. I like this deco quite a bit. I don't know if I'm going to get this one, because it's, I'm trying to be a little bit more selective with what I'm getting. But I do definitely like this deco quite a bit. Then we're also getting the last of the Wreck and Doom collection. These are the Amazon exclusives. We're getting a Sandstorm and Slugslinger 2-pack, and we're getting basically an animation accurate Sandstorm and Slugslinger. So you can see Sandstorm actually has his tuned face, and Slugslinger has a more tuned deco. You still get everything with the, that you got with the leader Sandstorm. And yeah, this is a cool set, and it's actually coming in at a slight discount. You can see Caliburst actually has a bit of a new deco as well. So very cool. Then also, too, they announced this Revenge of the Fallen 3-pack. Now, these promo pictures look really good. You're getting Prime, Soundwave, and the Fallen. But we'll get to the actual pictures here. This is basically the battle damage version of Megatron that was available through Target as a Studio Series exclusive. I actually have that one. Looks like it's got some additional deco, but I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to get mine out of a tote to confirm. It doesn't look like there's really any changes to the Fallen or Soundwave. The box they come in is actually pretty awesome. But when we get to the actual pictures, you'll see here. Yeah, they really didn't do too much to make this deco better. These are the pictures from the actual stream with the designers. We'll go through some of these because there's kind of some redundancies, but we'll get to the highlights here where they bring out. You can see the fully completed Superion. We finally get a look at how he's going to look, and that's shaping up to be pretty awesome in my book. And I know a lot of people weren't too keen on the skeletons that they've been using for the combiners, but it certainly does make for a far more stable combiner. And I think the fully combined up Superion actually looks pretty awesome here. And he does have a pretty clean back profile, too. We can finally see how, he looks with both his legs on and both of his arms. I think this looks pretty darn good. But let's skip down here so you can actually see that 3-pack, because they really could have. So the promo images here, and then what you get, they really for an exclusive that they're upcharging, they could have given Soundwave, because this Soundwave is not a very good figure. They could have given these 3 premium decos, but it just really doesn't look like that's the case at all. I mean, I'm glad to see they're doing a superior version of the Megatron, because the first Megatron that came out had a very bland deco. But you just get the same spots that were on the original. Would it have killed them to put silver paint all on the Soundwave? I guess you do get additional silver paint on the Fallen, but not too much different. But also too, they have a shot here with the G2 Dinobots all together, and they look absolutely great together. But that's not all, because we also get a look at the new Target 4-pack that's coming out. So this is the first Age of the Primes multi-pack, and they're giving us Ultra Magnus, they're giving us Bumper, Horrible, and an animated Nemesis Prime. And I think this looks okay. I really just want Horrible from it. And I'm sure that DNA is chomping at the bit to give us a full armor set for this Ultra Magnus here. I do like the deco on animated Nemesis Prime. I like that they did the teal in the face. I like that they're using the new Bumblebee mold for Bumper. I think he looks fine. I'm so tired of that Cliff Jumper mold from Earthrise. So it's refreshing to see, Bumper not. I mean, we already did get a Bumper in one of the past multi-packs, but it's cool to see a more proper Bumper. Horrible looks awesome. It's nice that they're doing the Headmasters, but I just wish they were getting individual releases. And I think this one's just definitely going to be a pass for me. As much as I'd like Horrible, I don't know. I like this mold. I like that mold. I just wish. I feel like they could have sold these separately, and I think they know what they were doing the multi-pack here. But it's still cool that they're doing them. We're also getting these More Than Meets the Eye collection figures with a slightly different deco Optimus, which I can't really tell what has changed on here. I don't know if there's more silver or orange, but they're saying it's a slightly different deco. There's also a Megatron. I can see that he's got additional black detail in the face. If they fix the knees, I will replace mine. Because that's the thing, is those tabs do not belong on the back of the knees. That toy guy even talked to, I believe, Evan, the Hasbro designer, to find out that no, they didn't have them there, and got a little bit of insight about how sometimes factory managers can make changes to designs. So it would be really nice if they fix the back of the knees. And we're also getting a side swipe and wheel jack. And they're actually giving some, these are for Devastation, but they're part of that More Than Meets the Eye collection. And again, I believe these are Target exclusives. And you can see Sideswipe has cell shading on the front windows, as well as some new detail above the headlights. Other than that, he's basically the same. I do like the cell shading here, but I wish they just made that all red. I don't know why we're back to having that issue on the Lambos. And we're also getting a Wheeljack, who also has cell shaded details on the windshield. So if for whatever reason you missed out on Wheeljack, or just really wanted to double dip for a Devastation shelf, these guys are available. I take that back. Wheeljack actually does come with a new gun, so they are getting you with additional accessories with Wheeljack here. So you're not just getting a 1-to-1 re-release with them. So that's some cool stuff. And while it wasn't officially revealed at this Hasbro event, we're thinking that it's probably going to be San Diego Comic-Con. There is this one's strange, an in-packaging picture of Studio Series 86 Megatron. So I believe this came from I'm not sure if it's Weibo, but it's definitely a Chinese social media user, has Studio Series 86 Megatron in packaging. So the question is, when is this going to come out? Definitely looks like it's pretty far along, and Walmart already had the pre-order page go up for it. You can't actually pre-order him there, but it was a placeholder page. So this looks like it's really far along. I'm curious if they're going to do early sales at SDCC to try and get people hyped up. Definitely be interesting to see. And we also get additional pictures of Widowmaker, that Studio Series concept character that never made it to Age of Extinction. And we get a full 360, and this figure looks pretty awesome. Again, I think that they can take this and turn it into a really good version of Knockout from Prime. I'd love to see that happen. But yeah, I'm sure we're going to see quite a bit of both Megatron and Widowmaker at SDCC. Getting out of that, we now actually get more watches. So this actually comes from Seiko. Now, this is a very expensive option. We've been looking at the ones that have been $60, but this is actually a very limited piece, limited to 300 pieces, and it's coming in about $418. Now, Seiko is actually a well-known and well-respected Japanese watchmaker, so I can understand the cost of this one, and I like this. This is just a very, very classy watch that kind of, you can see the Decepticon insignia on there. You can see the Megatron motif. I love the integration of the chess piece in here. On the back of there, you actually, I'm not sure if this is a replaceable face or yeah, I think it is a replaceable face. You get the silhouette of the Walder P38. But this is nice. If I were in the market for a watch, I'd probably consider something like this. The back, you can see you have the 40th anniversary logo there, and you also get your number on the back, so you know exactly which one you have. Packaging is very nice as well, and yeah, it's just something that you can actually wear formally. Doesn't look tacky at all, doesn't look out of place, but you can rep Transformers. So really awesome piece. Also, this just went up for pre-order, but if you're interested in getting the paperback compendiums, if you didn't back the Kickstarter and you're looking to get these kind of parsed out for a good price, the UK Compendium Book 1 just went up for pre-order. So that releases February 24th, 2026. It's street dated, so don't expect to get that early, but coming in at $63.67. And lastly, this one may sound silly, but I have seen these go for ridiculous aftermarket markups. We're getting eHobby acrylic Transformers and Beast Wars logos with stands. So you can typically get these on sites like BBTS and through eHobby and Japanese retailers. And these are just if you want to have these in front of your displays, if you're organizing them by series or season. That's why a lot of people like to pick these up. I've never really found them to be worth it, but they are very clean. So in addition to offering, different logos for G1, for Beast Wars, the Japanese series, you can also get, these kind of chibi ones as well. They have an Optimus. They've got a Deadlock. They've got Optimus opening the Matrix with some of the primes there. Soundwave, and yeah, so those are definitely a thing. They're coming in at about $15 each, and again, that may sound steep, but they are a good investment because again, I know when TM Reviews was tracking these down, they were very pricey on the aftermarket. So one thing to consider: these are actually being sold as a 2-pack as well, so that's actually not too bad. I'm guessing. I'm not quite clear on how they're being sold in those 2-packs, but yeah, definitely something to consider if you're interested in, adding a little flair to your display, or you just want to get something that may actually go up on the aftermarket. Let's get caught up with chat, and then we'll get into our third-party news and discussion. So, well, you guys have been pretty active in here. Sorry, I haven't been on top of it. We got Princess saying, I believe Hasbro is going to do a stream later this month for the Studio Series reveals. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm thinking, though, they're probably going to save a bit for SDCC, but who knows what else they're going to have to show. They may just do one for Megatron since he's such a flagship character. For Mario coming back saying, for me, for the fan stream for Age of the Primes, the Amazon exclusive packs, wasn't expecting the Studio Series stuff that leaked and was revealed by Takara. Yeah, I'm surprised Takara is kind of like jumping the gun and leaking this sort of stuff. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Princeton actually has a good comment here too, saying, I wonder if them making the Age of the Primes Micronus Prime, would they use the same concept for Pretenders for their shells? That would be really cool. If we got a line, if they, because again, they haven't really figured out what to do with core class and the individual Pretenders, they were very simple back in the day. So it would be cool to have articulated robots and you could do something with, or, exo shells, so you could do something with them. That would be a really cool concept to do, considering right now they've been doing like the hybrid Pretenders. I would love to see a line-wide gimmick do that, or kind of like now what they're doing, where they're going back and giving us proper target masters, and I think that would be pretty cool to see introduced. And Mario is saying that out of all the reveals, Alpha Trion is grown. Yeah, I mean, it isn't like he's grown on you, or because to me he looks like a younger one, but he did definitely grow on me. At first I was like, I don't know that I need that. And I was like, yeah, I kind of like the concept of the just the mustache on Alpha Trion. Aquateki say legit Pretenders would be welcome. Yes, they absolutely would be. And it's also a shame like Super 7 never gave this to us. Super 7 could have honed in doing some premium versions of, Action Masters and Pretenders. Missed opportunity. Mario is saying apparently armor from Micronus has for some people has them thinking it's the Apex armor. It could be. It'd be interesting to see what the lore is. Kentucky saying hope they do a repaint of Venom in the classic Insecticon colors. I bet they do a 4-pack with the 4 of them in traditional Insecticon colors, and I think a lot of people would be interested in that. Mega T-Rex Roll saying Flatline did the mode better. I do agree. Flatline looks both. I mean, Red Alert's iconic, but Flatline does look awesome in both modes. That deco. I mean, you can't hate on red, black, and silver. I mean, that's just awesome. Akateki saying that Horrible reminds me of the Terror Dog from the Ghostbusters. Yeah, I can see it. We got my boy Stunning and Brave Megatron. He did some art stream saying, I made it. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good night. And we got Angry Canadian say Wheeljack looks good. I think you were looking for a Wheeljack too. If you need me to get one out to you when they start hitting target, I can pick one up since probably won't be hitting the Japanese market, or at least I don't know if it will be. This guy Studying Brave say he looks like a Megatron themed gangster. I dig it. I guess the dude that was doing the inbox reveal, and also saying loves how they are doing Micronus, and coming back to say they should do an Apex armor for a TF Prime Starscream reissue. That would be awesome. That'd be really neat to see, especially since they haven't picked up the ball with TF Prime. I haven't seen too many new reveals. I mean, we kind of got a few with Legacy, but we never got Prime. We never got Megatron. I'd love to see them do some that are far more accurate, though. Just got RC, Bulkhead, Knockout, Breakdown. All right, let's get into our third-party stuff. So this one came as a surprise. Fans Toys Cesium, or I guess it's Perfect Fusion Cesium, got a reissue. I'm sorry to put up TF Source because they are way, way, way overpriced. But if you missed the boat on Cesium, now Cesium is a larger version of Slag that fits in the scale with the rest of their Dinobots, whereas Scoria was the first one that was released, and Scoria scales more with that original Grimlock that Takara Tomy released. Cesium was the first of the Fans Toys version 2.0. I'm particularly excited about this because since 2008, my Cesium has had a busted panel. I bought mine from the Agabus booth at TFCon, and when I got it home, when I got it unboxed, I realized it was busted. Hanny was trying to get me a replacement part, couldn't source me one. I reached out to Fans Toys. They didn't have any. And prior to the show, I emailed DeLang, you know, the dude from not just Facebook, from all the groups from Fans Toys. I emailed DeLang. He got the part. He's sending me the part. So I sent him a few bucks for postage. And finally, after 6 years, my Cesium will be fixed. So I'm very excited about that. But if you missed out on this figure, I do recommend it. I think it's one of their better Dinobots, and he looks awesome. I've had mine in Stegosaurus mode with the rest of my Dinobots in my collection, and it's pretty cool that people are getting a second chance. And it also goes to show you that patience saves pockets. Don't pay those aftermarket prices. And I don't know why we don't have that here, but TM Reviews had that there. Mastermind Creations, it looks like their Tyrantron is just weeks away from releasing. So we get some in-hand shots of him. And I've seen him in person. He looks awesome. And also heading over to Weibo, we get kind of a confirmation because we get the inbox pictures of him. So very cool stuff. There he is in hand. This is, if you didn't know, a very heavy retool of the Optus Pexus. So they do share parts. You can see the thighs are the same, the arms are the same, the chests are different though. So pretty cool. They're able to take this figure and turn him into a tank. So I'm very much looking forward to getting him up on my Megatron shelf. Now, normally I don't cover Legends here, but TM Reviews shared this out, and this is from New Age. This is their Zhivago and Cannonball, and these are both hoist repaints. So they've taken their hoist, their Legends hoist, and they've turned it into an animated Red Alert. And then also, too, I'm not sure what this guy's supposed to be. I know he's from G2. But really cool what New Age is able to do with the repaints. Hey, Sharon, good to see you in here. And just always love those metallic decos. I know this animated Ratchet is definitely gonna sell. Even people that don't collect Legends are just gonna want, you know, they're gonna want to get this guy. I mean, I can see New Age going in on animated Legends. And yeah, Mari, that's the thing with third party. With third party, you always you run into like QC issues, and I always tell people, don't sit on opening up your third party figures, and if it's broken, don't accept it being broken. Like, I always reach out to the stores that I buy from. That's why I try to buy mostly from reputable stores, and I try not to get on eBay. You know, I try to buy through sites that have good customer service, like places like Show Z and TF Safari have never steered me wrong. Toy Dojo's been amazing. You know, and nothing on Hanny. Hanny's typically amazing when it comes to getting me replacement parts, but just Fans Toys just did one run of that, and they couldn't help me out. But yeah, these two looking pretty good. Next up, Botcon. This is Studio One's broadside, and you know, we've seen this figure at we saw it revealed at TFCon Baltimore. They've made some changes. This is looking pretty close to being done. Now, this should be a pretty simple engineered figure, despite being a triple changer. It's pretty big. You can see he's got articulated hands. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit more here. Let's get it up. There we go. And this is my most anticipated third-party figure of the year. I love what O1 Studio puts out. Their Primus is amazing. Their Unicron, so good. And you know, I think that they use pretty good materials, and they don't over-engineer their figures. And for a triple changer, again, this looks pretty simple. Yeah, the jet mode is what it is, but it's also very animation accurate. And the aircraft carrier is simple, but man, to finally, after all these years, have a big, tall, broadside standing next. I'm going to put him right next to my Fans Toys Omega Supreme. I think they are going to look so good together. And TM Reviews shared this. Billy shared more in-hand pictures of Fans Toys Jester. Don't really have any details of how they're releasing this. I really hope that this is an indication that they're releasing this set without the combiner parts. I don't need the combiner parts. And I think maybe they're still trying to figure it out, and they know that there's a lot of people that just want to complete the team. Hey, that's me. So I'm hoping that we get a individual release of Dead End here. And I still can't figure out for the life of me, did they just do really good silver paint or maybe chrome underneath those headlights? Because it looks like they're LEDs. So really looking forward to Jester coming out, and hopefully in the coming weeks we get some info on how exactly he's coming out, and if he's, I mean, it's so strange that multiple people have this figure in hand, yet they don't have the combiner parts. Again, I'd be 110% okay if he's just coming out and they're releasing the combiner parts at a later date. And for those like me that are just collecting the team, I think that would be great, because we're going to have parts that aren't just going to live in a box, considering my DX9 is my Menasor and my Fans Toys are the individual bots. And before we wrap up, I'm going to do something a little bit new. I'm going to do a custom spotlight. So I've always wondered, how do I want to end the show? And I'm going to take a look at a custom figure, something I find really interesting. And this is from, I believe it is Zoo Eat People. This was shared on by Huts Lionel, who does a Transformers group. The Troy McClure. It's a very Simpsons theme, but it's a Transformers group. And this is the only image of it, but this is a really, really cool repaint of Wright, who just came out. So the Fans Toys Wright repainted to be battle damaged. I wish there were more pictures, because I'd love to see how he looks in his excavator mode and as a limb as well. I think what he's probably going for here is doing like a really battle damaged and like weathered Devastator, and I'm totally here for it. And then also he did a very weathered version of the New Age Trailbreaker here. But while both of these are good, this right is just so next level. This is how I kind of always imagined like live action Transformers looking. So yeah, there is a little custom spotlight. I think I'll be picking out a cool custom every week and sharing it with you all. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's episodes. Again, yeah, I'm really curious if anybody be interested in having me do anything gaming related here on the channel. I at some point I do have War and Fall of Cybertron on PC. Maybe one night I'll just do a live stream where I'll fire those up and just start playing through them and interact with the chat. I think it'd be cool to boot up. I don't know, maybe I like Fall of Cybertron better, but maybe War for Cybertron. See how it holds up after all these years. I know it's like only 30 frames per second, so I'll get that mod that takes it up to 60. Mazda coming in saying old, looking like, yeah. Well, they're 40 years old, going on 41, just like me. What's up, Maz? Hope you're having a good night, man. Well, I guess it's not really night; it's probably afternoon for you. But yeah, maybe I'll do a playthrough one Friday. So if you haven't already, smash that like button, because again, it does help me out in the algorithm. And you know, if you're not already subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing that notification bell. As I mentioned, Lance and I will be going live this Saturday at 10 p.m. So make sure you ring that notification bell. I'll get that scheduled. And yeah, we'll be talking about what we think they can retool and repaint the 13, at least the ones we know of, into. So it's going to be a fun discussion. So I want to thank everybody who hung out in chat tonight. Always great chatting and interacting with you all. And if you're watching me here on the replay, let me know what you think in the comments below. I do read the comments. I interact with people who leave comments on the channel. Let me know if there's anything cool that you picked up. If you're looking forward to anything that Hasbro revealed. If you have any predictions about what we might see at SDCC or in the coming weeks. If you think they're going to do a Studio Series stream like they did on the Hasbro Pulse fan stream for Age of the Primes. So with that, I hope everybody has an awesome week ahead. I'll see you all on Saturday and then back again on Tuesday, regular stream time and day. And this has been Extra Zero. So hope you all have a great one. And until next time, Zero out.